Good afternoon, welcome to this sacred and quiet space. Just for you and me to relax, to tune in to the core of us, the magnificence of our divinity. So just join me for some nice deep breaths as you relax. Just being aware of your body, mind, spirit, that it is aligned in quite harmoniously. Now, in particular today, we're going to look at the masculine and feminine and bring these two contrasts that lie within together. Hi Debbie. So make sure you're in a nice space, quiet, that you won't be disturbed, and just relax and breathe. And just allow this story of the feminine and the masculine just to come in and absorb. So, in the very beginning of all creation, in order to experience seeing and knowing ourselves, we chose to separate ourselves from all that is and begin an individual experience here on earth to explore and discover who we are. Many, many years later, we find ourselves sitting here in this space now, listening to this story. She heals him. Most of us here in the Western world have a good life, and we think we have lots of freedom. But more and more, the world around us is escalating out of control. There is so much confusion and chaos, craziness, and extreme polarity that we are becoming more separate. And we're causing ourselves more fear and lack. We have been left wondering, how is it all going to end? How do we stop this violence? How can we heal the world and make it harmonious? Now maybe we have to look back at our human story and understand the underlying cause of our despair. And if we are quiet and look within, maybe we find an answer. So our story begins hearing the whispers of the old myths of the goddess Isis and of times when there was peace and harmony on earth. They were known as the Golden Ages, where the divine female Isis was creator and birther of a peaceful, loving and harmonious life. She was the lover, the priestess, and mother of intuition, magic, and natural law. And now we read the modern fairy tales of Cinderella, Snow White, and Sleeping Beauty, all about her disappearance. So since the old days, the golden days, there have been many ancient civilizations before us now. But two great ones stand out, Lemuria and Atlantis. Atlantis was known for its great technology advancement that came after Lemuria, who was a race of great spiritual advancement. They were all or both androgynous, where their female and male energies were one. It was the divine female who remained connected to the stars and led people. She was the mother, creator and birther of all life. The masculine energy, connected to the earth, was the protector, honouring and supporting a new way of living, until one day souled beings began to feel restless and began to play with the masculine energies. Some of them became forceful and dark, and eventually Lemuria and Atlantis were destroyed. We can imagine how the divine feminine energy felt as she saw her world fall apart. All her people and land were destroyed. She felt a deep sorrow, shame, guilt, and regret. She blamed herself for not being able to fulfill her role, loving and caring for her people. And in an escape, we can understand her need to search for forgiveness from herself and find solace by diving into the depths of her. Now, in the absence of the creator, the nurturer, we can imagine the loss felt by the masculine energy and his choice to follow her into the depths within. The story continues in the beginning of our own civilization, where we hear of the emergence of Adam and Eve. A golden age had begun. Of sorts, we read about the freedom of the early days, the free trading across the world, native tribes whose women knew of their natural healing powers, her dreamtime prophecies, and them being crowned natural leaders of most tribes. It was a time when the greatest love affair between a man and a woman was first experienced on earth. As they had discovered the physical, sensual experience of lovemaking, adoration, caring and honouring each other in their relationship. The woman was the creator and homemaker, and the man the builder and the hunter. Together they birthed the original sensual feeling of love. However, even though she felt the dedication, honour and love from him. She felt his love and adoration wasn't enough for her. There was something missing. She felt incomplete and knew she had to find out how to love herself first and foremost, before she could continue to be true to another, to him. She chose to allow part of herself to venture deep within, searching for her own love. So she arranged for him to take over her role as creator and lead her people further. And it was with deep longing and many tears he cried, "Where are you? I need you. What more can I do? I cannot build only an house. I know not how to build a heart." He walked around with a broken heart. He didn't know how to find her. He didn't know what to do. He was truly lost. And the physical wound of man began. Each morning he would wake up and wonder if she would come back to him, and wondered if she would need him anymore. In his deep misery, wishing she would come back, he began to distract himself, managing, directing and controlling the people. In her search within, she wondered if she was being selfish. Is his love not enough? Is there a deeper love that will make me feel complete? Feeling fulfilled, would I still need him? Would I still feel passion and desire him? She missed him dearly, yearning for him to be together, calling out his name. This separation happened around the time of the suppression of paganism in the early Christian era, when the masculine energy took over the power. We all know what happened in the years to follow. Man's wound only grew deeper as he pushed himself harder to convince her to come back and make her realize he was her great love. But in his in his craziness and obsession, he became addicted to domination and control. And all his insane focus became her persecution. He portrayed her as a slave, a prostitute, condemning her to live as a second-class citizen until this very day. Yes, today humanity walks the earth in full hypnosis, both male and female, carrying the original deep wound, the tragic love story of heartbreak, separation from the divine female and earthly male. We may wonder why women in general are good at multitasking to keep herself busy, and why men in general are so focused on sex, as this brings him closer to experience her love. As we look back and remember our completeness in the beginning of time, how we chose to experience separation with the intention to return home a little wiser after our earthly experience, we can understand how this story of heartbreak and separation is a misunderstanding, and just answering the questions may allow her, the divine feminine, to heal his wound. So does the woman discover her own love and feel complete? Does the man realize he can love himself? Can he build a home for himself and hold the heart space for her to return? Does she return to him, desire him, and make her home with him? Maybe we can look deeper within ourselves and ask ourselves the question, can I acknowledge my wound? Can I feel my wound? Can I bring light into my wound? I'll just play a little music now. And make sure you're comfy and just close your eyes. We're going inwards. Just breathing calmly and deeply. Breathing in the air. And feeling the earth beneath you. Just filling yourself up with loving energy that caresses all of you, nourishing all of you, body, mind, and spirit. Just imagine all the atoms, cells, organs, blood, lymph, bones, muscles, skin, and consciousness, all dancing in this space of love within you, opening up, vibrating a new transparency. Just breathing out all your old tensions, stiffness, blocks, patterns and beliefs. Only love can serve you now. Just allow yourself to feel lighter and calmer, relaxed. Just become lost within yourself, breathing, just enjoying being with you, getting to know you. As you become more familiar with all the corners of you, you come across a space that seems a little uneven. It feels a little cooler and darker. It seems distorted and in pain. Just allow yourself to get closer to this space. With all your senses, just feel what it is. What is happening here? Just breathing in and out. Feeling. Just allow yourself to go deeper into this space and feel the surroundings. It seems to be an old, deep wound that you created long, long ago. It was a time when you lost all knowledge of your true origin, and a feeling of being separate and incomplete. Feeling of being afraid, unworthy, powerless, and very lost. You recognize the time you began to play the games of victim and aggressor, stealing power from one another in order to be more important, better, and survive. Even if it meant feeling the earthly suffering, pain, and brokenness. Just breathing in and out, remaining focused on this open wound. This wound, you know, is within all humankind. And you hear the crying, the yearning, souls lost in eternity. Now you feel a great movement, a pulsation of deep volcanic rawness. This space oozing with ugliness and brokenness. And you breathe in and out of this deep wound. Breathing to the rhythm. Drinking deeply into this space. Allowing it to completely fill your entire being. This wound is just expanding, growing so big. You become the wound. You become this deep colour and vibrancy. Just breathing in and out. You are this deep fear, suffering and pain. The soul. You, the wound. Just disperses, bursting like a balloon. Energy escaping into space, into nothingness. And you feel so much freedom. All that is left now is this loving presence